Then welcome back to the channel. So following the 2K primer on the shell, I'm going to get stuck into some chassis work because I'm in preparation to get the body back on the chassis. So I'm going to start to restore these brake lines and also finally choose a colour. Alright, so I've just pulled these brake lines and fuel lines down from the top of the mezzanine, and I know a lot of people just replace these because this stuff's actually quite cheap. However, I thought I'd just refurb it because it doesn't look that bad in my eyes. It's a few little dirty bits here and there and it's a little bit of surface rust, but as you can see, they're quite a complicated kind of design and layout, and you know, just to save bending all that new tube and going through the process, I thought I'd just leave what's there, refurb it, and put it back in. The internals of these I'll blow out with an air hose. Worst case scenario, I can always change it down the track, but this is like a half an hour, maybe an hour's job to refurb it, get it all cleaned up, and put it back on. I've just noticed there's a few little things like that's worn. So yeah, you'd have to get a little crimping tool to do the ends on that. That probably needs to be replaced because that's damaged that nut there, and the same with this end. So yeah, I may have to then trim a little bit off and just replace those areas, but there's enough meat in this to be able to rebend it and then attach it to the brake line. Unfortunately, I can't put the exhaust in yet because I don't have one. So that's going to have to be something that's going to be done towards the end. Unfortunately, I did speak to a couple of people about exhaust. They said they like to actually have the car there, you know, rolling chassis, so that they can fit it and bend it to whatever requirements you have. Being it's just a standard kind of setup, I suppose you'd have to factor in, you know, the lowering of the car and all that kind of stuff. If anyone knows of any solutions that I can get for a bolt-on kit, I know that up in Queensland, Coolin Mufflers do a really, really nice 3-inch stainless all painted system which bolts directly to H-series chassis, either the Ute or a sedan. So I may order one of those kits because I do like the fact they're a beautiful looking exhaust. Done a really nice job at it, but also it's all bolted straight on. So you have to recommend your pace, or what extractors you've got, and you know, what model extractors and what size. I'd go for a 3-inch exhaust system. And then they build that system for those specific extractors, and then I think it's about $200 to ship it down from Queensland. So I think around about 1,800 to $2,000 for a system, maybe more for 3-inch. I'm not too sure, I'll have to double check that. So it's a little bit of an outlay, but it would sound mint. So that's, you know, but if anyone is around Castlemaine, Bendigo area that does exhausts that can help me out, reach out, because I really would like a system to go off pacemaker extractors, 3-inch all the way. And I really wanted to fit those VRX mufflers, but if there's a muffler out there that's just going to be a nice sound, it's going to be road legal, then also recommend those. All right, so enough talking. I'm going to start to restore and clean up these brake lines and get them onto the chassis. All right, so these are the lines in question. As you can see, you know, they're pretty much new, so just need a good clean. There's not much difference in getting new Bundy tube and giving these a clean, to be honest. So I've got to get a double flaring tool, pipe bender, all the Bundy tube, got to wait probably a week and a half for it all to arrive. So, you know, in just saving a whole lot of time and expense, I'm just going to refurbish these and put it on the chassis and be done with it. There we go. It's all cleaned. And now I've just got to figure out how they go back on the chassis. I've taken some photos before I dismantled them, but I couldn't remember getting some reference photos for the actual chassis mounting. But essentially that side is the front right, and that goes up into the brake master cylinder there. So the others, the brake line and one of the fuel lines clip together, and then the other one's just free floating, and it just bolts straight to or clips straight to the chassis. So yeah, essentially I've blown, I've saved myself $350 for getting new lines. If you were to buy the already pre-bent assembly, obviously halve that if you were just to go and get the line itself. But look, I'll give it a go. I've got the air hose and flushed them all out as well. There's a little bit of dust coming out of the fuel lines, but essentially they weren't too bad once I'd given them a bit of a clean. So now I'm just going to try and mount them back on the chassis. All right, so all the lines are on. I think I've got them the right way. Just had to get that clip there, which separates them all. And yeah, just sort of fed it down and put them in their rightful order as far as the clips go. This clip here is potentially broken, so I need to get a new one that's got a small one at the top and a larger one at the bottom. And then that feeds through the hole in the chassis rail there, goes up to there, and the other one, the thinner one, up to this section here. So pretty much brand new again. I'm pretty happy with the way they've turned out. I've aired them out with the hose, as I mentioned before, so they're all clean inside as well. So we'll just see how they go, but I'm happy with that. And now I'm going to get a 3D model, do something a little bit different. It's an old HQ model that I've got from the internet. And yeah, I'm going to start to play around with some paint colors, and the model will allow me to show you guys and also show myself how the colors are going to react to the panel shape and the shine based on the quarter panel shape and the guards and things like that. I think it's quite a useful tool to figure out how the colors are going to look as an end result. So I'm going to run through that now, do a few renders and run through the colors that I'm proposing for the ute. I've been obviously thinking about this for 3 years. Yeah, the color is such a big thing. Do you go stock? You know, do you keep it out of the original color palettes that Holden brought out for these H series, which to me, there's about 2 colors that really stand out that I really like. And I can bring those colors up now. So basically, these color selections came out in all the H series from HQ to WB, sedan and ute. Some were Kingswood colors. I think you could opt for any color if you really wanted to build it and spec it out. So the 2 colors that I really liked are the green and the blue. I can't remember off the top of my head what the names are, but I'll put them up now. And so it's like a beautiful sort of metallic green color, which you've seen on a lot of Kingswood's utes especially. Beautiful color, and yeah, it really stands out in the sun, and that's an original color. The other one is that ice blue color, which is metallic as well, and it looks really, really nice on these utes. The beige, the creams, the reds don't do anything for me. I'm going to leave them well alone. So there, if I was going to go stock, those 2 colors would be the colors that I go for. One color I've always loved, in my old ute that I used to have a Kingswood, as I've said before, a 1984 Kingswood ute that I resprayed, and that was the silver color that came out also as a stock color. Absolutely beautiful on a Kingswood. I had a Kingswood in this silver. Unfortunately, it was stolen after I restored it, and never seen it again. But yeah, I always loved that silver, and this silver is a little bit lighter than the gunmetal, but it's a beautiful color. So that was another option. But because I've done that before, I thought, you know, got to try something different. So I've been looking at DNA paints, and I was looking at Eurochem Paints, which is an American company, and they had some really, really nice dark silver pearl colors. So they do a couple of really, really nice base colors that you can then put a metallic pearl over. Pearls, being a novice painter, I can hear everyone right now just going, stay away from them, because it's really, really hard to get it even. And if you're going to be painting panels separately, you really want to be to know your stuff. So I'm going to probably leave the pearl alone. I just want to just go through those colours as an option. Disregarding those, using a local paint system, DNA paints are quite easy to apply. Being a local company, it's in Melbourne as well. That's another thing that's good. You can always go and talk and get advice. And anyone that's familiar with the DNA paint system, there's the candy colours and then there's the base metallic colours. The candy colours you can basically put down as a base coat candy, and then you can put different stages over that of other colours, which will just have a myriad of options as to what you really want to do and how you want to get that final coat. So I've seen some candy layerings look unbelievable, but they're obviously been applied by professional guys that have done that system many, many times before and really know the pitfalls and the things you've got to watch out for laying down those paint systems. I don't want to get ahead of myself with this, so I'm just going to peel it back again and just do the most advanced I'll go was a metallic. And so I've been looking at the DNA metallics that they've got on offer. And I really, really want to go, I've decided, a gunmetal grey. I know everyone's going to be like, oh, everyone does gunmetal, but they just look so good on these utes. And, you know, it's the rawest thing to sort of a metal that you can get. And the bodies, when they're in metal, look fantastic. I remember when I took the paint off this thing and it was sitting in raw steel, it just looked beautiful. So I want to replicate that as close as possible, obviously not chrome. So I'm thinking I'd love to get a gunmetal grey with a hint of copper through it. Just a tiny smidgen, just to give it a little bit of more of a unique kind of colour to it, colour tone. And the other one was, you know, do a dark candy colour, and then you do a pearl, silver pearl, bronze pearl over the top of that. So give it a really kind of good metallic, mechanical feel to it. So yeah, they're the options that I've been floating around. I'm not going to do a big bright colour, or a lot of people like to do a blue or a purple or a yellow or a green or something like that. So yeah, maybe if it was a Sandman, I might go even down the red or the green path, because I think those green Sandmans look great as well. But being a WB, you're going to stay away from that and just do something that looks really, really nice and sophisticated, but just tough at the same time. And gunmetal, you can't get past it. It's just a really, really nice colour. So at this stage, that's what I'm going to go with. But the variations in that are still up in the air. So as always, if there's any tips out there, let me know. And any colour codes, let me know as well. That might fit that kind of criteria. Anyway, so that's it for the episode. Just a quick update for the engine. I spoke to, or at least messaged Tony from Night Engines. The engine has been delayed due to the COVID. Everyone's, it's like backlog. So at the moment it's getting line honed, and I'm hoping that, Tony's hoping, if I whinge enough, I might be able to push it forward a little bit faster. Next 2 to 3 weeks, we might start seeing something come together. And I really want to go over there, so hopefully the border opens as well, so I can scoot over, do a bit of filming, potentially get it on the dyno as well. Depends on the money. And we'll start getting this engine underway. So I'm happy that I've got the lines at least on the chassis again. The next up and coming episode will potentially be moving all this bloody wood, getting the chassis in there once I finish the bodywork, and dropping the body on the chassis, so I can start finessing the gaps and the guards and all this other kind of stuff. So anyway, you know the drill with the Instagram. Check it out. I'm always updating stuff on there in between episodes. And if you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so. And I'll see you in the next episode.